Hey everybody, welcome back. Brand new Wellness and Weight Loss Wednesday show of the week here on the Cabral Concept. I want to bring you 5 natural foods that mimic the effect of Ozempic, which is a weight loss based drug. It's called the GLP or GLP-1 drug. I'll share what that is. I know a lot of people, of course, now in the United States and starting to move all over the world are using this specific drug. It's not something that we recommend in our practice. There are side effects. It is not necessarily side effect free like it's led to believe. It can cause massive digestive issues, gastritis, all sorts of potential side effects. Now, is it okay though? Some people using it, no side effects, they're getting great results. Sure, no doubt about that. And if someone wants to use it, I'm not going to get in their way from using it. I just like to say this, from a natural health perspective, let's exhaust all possibilities first. And then as needed, if you choose to use a medication, which Ozempic is, then you can learn about the side effects, watch for them if they start to come, and then hopefully be able to mitigate as few of those or mitigate as many of them as possible. So that's just a philosophy, again, from someone who's a doctor of naturopathy who preaches drug-free living. And again, if you ever need medication, I'm not saying that you can't take it, but hopefully it's for life-saving conditions only. That way there we can start to use the best of nature, balance our bodies, look for underlying root causes, and use as many great whole foods as we can. Today, I'm going to give you 5 whole foods, natural food categories that mimic the effects of Ozempic. Now, will a drug always be stronger? Of course, no doubt about it. But even if you're using it, well, maybe you can introduce these foods as well. And I'll tell you this, people who come off of the medication often gain the weight back. So in my opinion, again, you may want to use all of the natural methodologies first. Look at your metabolism, look at your thyroid, look at your adrenals, look at blood sugar levels, fix all of those first before, and hopefully you'll never will, people in our practice do not need that, go on this weight loss drug. But the great news is this, it's bringing noise, it's bringing information and the media attention around what is basically GLP-1. So GLP-1 stands for glucagon-like peptide. Now here's the thing, people think you can only get it from a medication. It's not true. It can actually be triggered from certain foods. I'm going to go over 5 of the main ones here today, and then I'll do a follow-up show on one specifically. But basically what it does is this, it is a trigger for insulin sensitivity or insulin secretion. So it helps your body pull sugar out of the bloodstream and into the cells where it belongs. So that's a big one. But it also works to inhibit glucagon secretion. So basically breaking down sugar and using, hopefully, body fat, adipose tissue as a fuel source instead of. But one thing that's overlooked, and that's because the science isn't great on it yet, is that it works as an appetite suppressant. So you stay fuller longer, meaning you stay more satiated. And some of the foods that I'm going to share with you here today help you stay satiated so that you're not hungry all the time. If you're not hungry all the time, you don't feel the need to eat as much, right? And that's one of the biggest things that I've heard from people being on these weight loss drugs. They're just no longer hungry. So they don't eat as much, right? Well, what if you could get the appetite suppressant from eating good, high quality foods? Let's take a look at that right now. All right, and Ozempic's not the only one. There's Mounjaro, there's Wegovy, there's Ozempic. There is, I think, one of the ones that's now in the lead is called tirzepatide. So there'll be more and more into the future, right? But we're looking at different type of GLP-based drugs or medications. And what I'll do for anybody who wants to go deeper on the physiology of how these drugs actually work, or just GLPs work in the body, head on over to stephencabral.com/3036. And I'll actually link up a nice little PubMed article on the physiology of glucagon-like peptide 1. And on that page will be a PubMed abstract, and then there'll be a bunch of links below it that you can go deep on the science if you want to learn about it. All right. So here's what we want to do. We want to mimic the effects of something like an Ozempic. And we want to do that through essentially protein, fiber, and water in a very specific way. But before we do that, there is one food, believe it or not, that most closely mimics Ozempic. And I want to share that with you first. Believe it or not, it is a fatty acid. And it's from monounsaturated fats in olive oil, specifically olive oil. Extra virgin olive oil. And in an ideal world, you get organic, you get first pressed, cold pressed, all of those great things. So I always talk about olive oil. I've talked about its benefits for so long with cardiovascular, with blood pressure, with diabetes, with Alzheimer's, with cancer. It has oleic acid in it, a very powerful antioxidant and polyphenol. Olive oil, I know people are starting to talk about it more, but it's the thing, right? It's one of those things that make the Mediterranean diet, Nordic diet, so efficacious, meaning like there's so many studies showing that it's so great for the body. Well, it's a powerful anti-inflammatory, but it also helps with satiation and the release or the opening. And so let me move back a little bit. When you take one of these drugs like Ozempic, it's actually an agonist. It opens the receptor for the GLPs. And so what it does is basically turns on these receptors, like these tolls in the body, and says, oh, okay, now we're ready, right? And now it allows you to actually get the benefits of the insulin, blood sugar balancing, hormonal effects, satiation, etc. Well, olive oil helps to do that. How much olive oil? Most people, about 2 tablespoons once or twice a day. So 2 tablespoons at lunch, 2 tablespoons at dinner. Fantastic. You get a lot of benefits there. Now, they're not without calories, right? It's about 130 calories per tablespoon of olive oil. So just take that into consideration because overeating calories in general will cause weight gain. So if you do 2 tablespoons of olive oil, it is 260 calories. So if you do that twice a day, you're at 520 calories just in olive oil. So keep in mind, depending on how many calories you can eat for the day, you might just do 2 tablespoons of olive oil total per day. But I wanted to lead with that one. Olive oil, single best GLP mimicker. All right. The next is healthy fats in general. I'm going to give you the specific healthy fats. Some of these, though, actually contain fiber as well. So if you get healthy fats plus the fiber, leads to great satiation. Avocado is your number one. So besides olive oil, avocado is now the number one in healthy fats besides olive oil. All right. Olive oil comes first. Why? Avocado contains fiber, water, and healthy fats. So it is a phenomenal food that you can add to, let's say, an alternating meal. So maybe you do olive oil at dinner and maybe you do avocado at lunch. Great way to get the effects of both, right? So nice and satiated. Under healthy fats, walnuts, macadamia nuts, they can be fantastic as well. Satiation, blood sugar balancing, and chia seeds. Another great one as a prebiotic for the gut. Good fiber, right? Good healthy fat. A lot of omega-3s in there too. Okay, so next we're going to go with proteins. Why proteins? Proteins are going to help stabilize hunger, satiation, glucose, all right? Specifically in eggs. So again, I like to stay unbiased. The research has shown eggs seem to best mimic the effects of these GLP-1 drugs and levels. So when we get eggs in the body, sure, we're getting choline, we're getting zinc, we're getting our B12, our B vitamins, all of these great things. Seems to work fantastic. Now, let's say you're more plant-based, legumes, beans and legumes. Why? There's protein, which is great, prebiotic fiber for the gut. But second, there's a lot of, I said prebiotic fiber, which is correct, so the good bacteria, but there's a lot of fiber, which leads to satiation. So people that ate a half a cup to 1 cup of beans and legumes per day were more satiated. Better overall glucose levels, blood pressure levels, healthy cholesterol levels. So really nice to be able to add in, maybe do a plant-based lunch. Half a cup, you're going to work your way up. You can't just eat a cup of beans. If you've never eaten beans before, you might have a lot of gastric-based issues. So start small, work your way up. All right, the next one is fermentable fibers. I'm going to be doing a whole show on this because I like to keep my shows around 12 to 15 minutes for you. And the reason is hopefully you consume it on a daily basis. There's a new topic literally every day about your health and wellness. So I want to do a separate show on this, but specifically oats and rye. So oats and rye, in terms of whole grains, have been shown to give you and mimic the effects of something like an Ozempic because they better regulate appetite, they slow down digestion, and they increase feelings of fullness. But they have one other thing, and this is being studied right now, and I want to bring a whole show to you on it: beta-glucans. So the beta-glucans in the oats and rye and even barley have been shown to improve gut bacteria as well as feelings of satiation at the meal that you're eating and for the rest of the day. And that's why I want to bring it, because it gets a phenomenal, what they call, well, you'll see it. It's called second meal effect. And it's actually what happens the rest of the day. So I'm going to give you specific strategies to add this in. All right, the last one, number 5, and I do have a bonus for you, but number 5 are berries. Berries made the list because they're low in calories, high in fiber, and lots of water. So they give you a little bit of the sweet taste. So you think, oh, I satisfied the sweet taste. They have fiber, slows the digestion down so you don't spike blood sugar. And they're high in water, which can fill you up. So great way to stay satiated there as well. The bonus one for today is apple cider vinegar. Should be raw, but raw apple cider vinegar has been shown to help with blood sugar balance, satiation, and many anti-inflammatory based effects. So when you take 1 tablespoon to 2 tablespoons maximum in 6 to 8 ounces of room temperature water at a meal, and you're just sipping it, you don't want to drink a lot of water at a meal, 30 minutes before a meal or an hour post meal, you can consume some water, but just a little bit just to get the food down. That apple cider vinegar can help to balance what are called postprandial blood sugar levels. They don't let the blood sugar get too high, balance things out. And also, since it's acidic going in, it is a vinegar, it helps with digestion. Something maybe to look at, something maybe to try. It's really with protein-based meals. You don't necessarily mix vinegar and fruit. That's not something you would look to do. You don't mix it with a smoothie. But if you're having a protein, that vinegar could help with that digestion as well. So hopefully this was helpful. Again, if you can, go natural first. Run the stress, mood, and metabolism test to find out what's going on with your hormones, cortisol levels, thyroid, vitamin D, insulin, all those things. Then begin to work in exercise and nutrition and any protocol that you may need. And you always have these drugs. They're always there. Try to go natural first. Balance things out. I think you'll be successful, no doubt about it, like many people in our practice. And you'll be happy you did. No side effects from being natural, that's for sure. All the labs we run, all the protocols are at stephencabral.com/shop. That'll take you right over to EqualLife. Any questions, let us know in the comments. And of course, if you found the show helpful, do feel free to share it with anyone you believe it could serve. Take care, everybody. I appreciate you. Take care. Thanks so much for tuning into today's show. Before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I want to make sure that you're getting our daily content, not missing out on anything functional medicine, wellness, weight gain, weight loss, anti-aging, living longer, stronger, and all of the most cutting-edge research. And if there's any topics you want to hear, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Take care.